history of this stuff starts in the community because there was always, always, back in the 70s, 60s, 70s, early 80s, there was always, a problem with housing. That, and it wasn't reaching, a centralized place. There were all sorts of agencies that wanted to apply for it, but it was a governmental thing. They determined what municipality could apply, what they couldn't. Kellyanne Vetter was a legislative aide to a county legislature member by the name of Joan Bozer. And Kellyanne had a passion for the homeless issue and getting decent housing for people. And Joan was able to make that happen. So she created the first, homeless commission, to take a look at what's going on in this area. We did all that, and we started to get noticed because we did a homeless study. It was commissioned by the county. We did reach some findings about what we felt were necessary in order to start dealing with the homelessness issue. And Joan Bozer put together a commission, and we immediately began focusing on funding, on where's it coming from. But we knew that the money was not always going to where it wanted to go. There was competition between individual agencies. If they were all looking for the same money, it really wasn't doing much to provide services for the area. So that was our major focus, to do the whole thing. His name was Dan Weir. And he was the one that did the first application for the HUD money. And it went okay the first year. But after that, they basically rejected us because they didn't like what we wrote. And it was around that time that Bill O'Connell, showed up.
I came on board in January of 2000 and to what was then the Erie County Commission on Homelessness. And it came on at kind of an interesting time because we had just found out that as a community, we were not going to receive any funding through our continuum of care from the previous year. So it was really kind of a crisis moment for us.
The very first day he showed up to work, we were having a scheduled meeting with HUD to tell us or explain to us why they rejected our grant. And it was our first experience having to undergo a grill with HUD. That was one of his first projects. He had to figure out how we were going to put together a system to successfully use available money without competing with each other, and follow a set of rules and take a look at the whole continuum of care.
Everybody really recognized that this is an area where we could be served by good community coordination, and we happen to be an organization that wanted to do that. One of the things that we were able to begin back then have just grown upon and expanded upon and really become foundational in terms of the organization. I think the implementation of HMIS was really big. Our data collection in general. I think the community conversations that we were able to start and get people thinking about homelessness as a community and not just I serve this population or I serve this population. By establishing ourselves as experts who could be relied upon, who were compassionate and really cared about this work, and folks who were going to put the interests of homeless and low-income folks at the forefront of not just conversations, but our minds and our money, that was really important.
I had talked with Bill O'Connell before I retired, and he was looking for someone to be an operations manager. And 2 months after I got there, Bill tells me he's getting this job at HUD. And but the more I thought about it, it seemed like fate, destiny. And I was like, yeah, let me do this. That's when we hired Suki Smith as the operations manager, and this one, her name was Kexon something. We hired her as an HMIS assistant. And everything just kind of fell into place from there. We're one of the communities around the country that was recognized. We put a process together to quickly house any veteran that did become homeless, whether it was in permanent housing or transitional housing, or emergency shelter. Even to this day, I don't think you see very many veterans out on the streets. When I was on the Common Council, it was one council member, Beverly Gray, and I She was a council member at large. We talked about doing like something like where people would join hands, almost like Hands Across America decades ago, um, just to show unity within Buffalo. And for some reason, I just blurted that out to Sam. We could do Hands Across Buffalo, and he liked the idea. We pulled it off, and I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it now.
The leadership we've gotten for this group for Hawney is enormous.
You know, my 11 years with the Alliance were just the beginning. It's crazy to me to see what the Alliance has become.
I don't think at the time any of us thought that it would get to be this big. So what we have is something that's very unique. I don't think everybody's got the same kind of organization that we have.
Thank you to all of the you know, everybody who's ever worked with the Alliance, the incredible boards that have been, and people who have worked on the board over the years, you know, the social workers and the executive directors and the homeless advocates and the folks who are out on the street, just everybody coming together to improve the lives of homeless and low-income people. It's just so impressive, and I hope that everybody always feels like they have a home under the Homeless Alliance umbrella. And just congratulations on 20 years.